Hello, welcome to Act 2. The program. Act 2 takes place in the salon of Lord and Lady Anchester, and they're having a masked ball. The opening number, The Season's a Season, again has nothing to do with the plot, but it's a terrific number. They're having a masked ball, and Barry hasn't been invited, so he turns up as a dowager instead. Great fun, and the whole thing ends, of course, happily. As I said, the Edwardians loved people pretending to be somebody that they're not, and in this we have the Raja Rabong. Well, you'll soon see who he really is. If you can, I know these are troubled times for all of us, but we would love any small donation towards this series would help us to keep going. Of course, we have, like many people, we have no income this year until this terrible thing is settled. So any contribution would be very helpful. To do so, just go to our website, gsov.org.au, and you'll see if you go to the shop, there's a place for donations, and all donations are tax deductible. So we would be very grateful if you could help us out in that way. Well, enjoy the second act, and we will soon be bringing you other highlights. Perhaps we'll do the whole of the Acadians from the Buxton Festival, and other delights, like there's a lovely play that Diana Burley directed called Sweethearts, which was set here in the garden, and it's wonderful. So many things to look forward to. Anyway, stay well, stay home, and God bless you all. Thank you.
From a country girl, played by the British military band, Edison Record.
Invited everywhere by people we can't say no to.
We are delighted you will be there, for we shall be sure to go to.
We'll have a daily ride in the morning, let our electric car be. Then we will gaily tour to the hall and drive to the Oaks or Derby.
The Derby, we'll drive to the Oaks or Derby. Derby, season, we'll get to the set and we'll freeze on. Never stopping, never slowing, set the pace and keep it going. The season, we fix if we wait for a reason. What's fashion swim to be in the swim at the height of the London season.
When we are there we won't have a care, as we will be so looked after.
Out of the rain, let's drinking champagne, there's bound to be lots lots of laughter.
I'll bet the horse will win, and of course then I can pay off my debtors.
Then what use I get that you pose and hobnob with all me betters.
Her betters, she'll hobnob with all her betters. Betters, the season, we'll get in the set and freeze. Never stopping, never slowing, set the pace and keep it going. The season, we begin to wait for a reason. The fashions win to the industry, at the height of the London season.
We've come tonight to share the delight of meeting our friends for dinner.
Pâté foie and red caviar is helping to make us thinner.
As we've asked, we've come here to ask, though we do not know the reason.
Who gives a care this spring in the air? We've come to enjoy the season.
The season, we've come to enjoy the season. The season, we'll get in the set and freeze. Never stopping, never slowing, set the pace and keep it going. The season, we begin to wait for a reason. Where fashions win to be in the slip at the height of the London season.
Ah, my dear Challoner, you ought to be a very happy man, the coming politician.
Oh, that depends, for you see I seem to have lost something I care about more.
Stick to the sea, old chap. You'll be happier then.
I suppose. After all, a sailor has a good time wherever he is. A bite or a frolic, it is all the same. Tommy Atkins is a chap that is useful in a scrap. He will stick to either enemy or friend. On parade he's like an image, but he's lively in a scrimmage. When his rifle's got a penknife on the end. But there's one as good as he, though a better couldn't be, and his name is Jack, the jolly man in blue. And wherever we have tried him, there are few you'd put beside him. For there's nothing that a sailor cannot do. Oh, he's all right in the ballroom, and he's all right at the goal. He can have some fun with a 12-inch gun, or he's off to the old South Pole. He can fly round in a seaplane, or an armored motorman. Sea, land, or air, if there's any trouble there, why send for the sailorman?
Oh, he's all right in the ballroom, and he's all right at the goal. He can have some fun with a 12-inch gun, or he's off to the old South Pole. He can fly round in a seaplane, or an armored motorman. Sea, land, or air, if there's any trouble there, why send for the sailorman?
Jack is up to any sport. When his ship is back in port, he will race you up on anything that runs. He can make his deck a ballroom that will give the ladies all room, with the cozy corners all among the guns. He'll have cricket when he lands, if he plays it on the sands, and he'll try if he can be a sailor too. He's as good at digging trenches as the Tommies or the Frenchies, for there's nothing that a sailor cannot do. Oh, he's all right at a sing-song, and he's all right at a rag. You should see him smile on a South Sea isle when he runs up the good old flag. He can knock holes in a dreadnought, or he'll try hard if he can. Big games or small, if you've any job at all, why send for the sailorman?
Oh, he's all right
have heard that Jack has a way of looking back when he passes any pretty girl ashore. If she likes to stop and chatter, why, of course, it doesn't matter. It's the kindness of his heart and nothing more. There's a girl he left behind that the sailor keeps in mind. She'll be waiting when his ship is coming in. And he'll tell his future missus he's forgotten what a kiss is. For there's no yarn that a sailor cannot spin. Oh, he's all right with his sweetheart, and he's all right with his wife. And it can't much hurt if her Jack did flirt now and then in his roving life. There are fair girls up in Norway, there are dark girls in Japan. He'll drop all those for the little lass he knows who waits for the sailor man.
For he's all right with his sweetheart, and he's all right with his wife. And it can't much hurt if a Jack did flirt now and then in his roving life. There are fair girls up in Norway, there are dark girls in Japan. He'll drop all those for the little lass he knows who waits for the sailor man.
Splendid! I hope you don't mind. We did not invite that midshipmate of yours. Barry, I think his name is.
Oh, he didn't mind.
It's bad enough Mrs Quinton Raikes insisted on bringing her dressmaker, who's pretending to be her cousin. Well, really.
And we are expecting the Rajah of Bong and the Princess Mehelana at any moment. We need to show them how we do things properly here in London. No riffraff.
We had a dreadful Australian here last week. All he could talk about was a thing called knee ball or thigh ball or...
Football,
Oh,
I think.
football! Silly me. Quite uncouth.
How do you do? How do you do? Don't pay too much attention to my little friend. A distant relation. One should always be kind to them, don't you know?
My first season. So nice to have an old cousin like Mrs Quinton Raikes to advise me. Don't let me keep you. You are bound to want to go and play some bridge or darts or whatever it is you play.
But before we do, I see Miss Marjorie Montague has just arrived.
What, Marjorie Montague? I only had a single cheer last week in Covent Garden. I believe Madame Melbourne wasn't impressed.
Ah, Miss Montague, so pleased that you could accept our invitation.
Well, I couldn't resist, especially when I heard you wouldn't ask me to sing.
My dear, I have someone I would like to introduce to you. Geoffrey Challoner, who is quite the most handsome sea captain I have ever seen.
Geoffrey Challoner? Is he here?
You know him?
I used to, years ago.
Sometimes I have found that when one renews an old acquaintance, one finds an old friend. But do let's go on, Miss Montague, and you can tell me all about that divine Signor Caruso.
Ah, Lord Anchester, so kind of you to invite us. I am so looking forward to meeting all these handsome Englishmen.
I say, Anchester, that was a close shave. I just saw her.
Who?
My wife, Arabella. I'd know that sniff and bark anywhere.
Tell me, I believe Mr. Challoner is also coming tonight. I am very pleased that I could use some of my wealth, influence, to get him elected to your parliament. I can't wait to receive his gratitude, or worse.
Oh, come with me, Princess. He can't have gone far.
You, my dear Quinton, I mean Rajah, had better keep your shirt on and your mask. Sir Joseph.
Ah, salon air. How fresh it is here. Away from all those country people, heeing and hawing. No nans. Only the elite. This is the place to find a wife.
And I think I've just seen the one.
By Jove, that was quick. I must look for Mrs Quinton Raikes. Where are you, my little darling?
Nan, is that you behind that mask?
Master Verity, I thought I could play a mysterious lady.
You could never hold any mystery from me, Nan. Do you mind? You look so beautiful in that lovely dress.
Fine feathers make fine birds, they say.
You look perfectly lovely.
Do I? I feel like a ruddy Woolworth's lampshade. I'm just a simple country girl who's looking so well and hearty, and yet my head's all in a whirl at coming out to a party. They said I'd make a big success, such compliments too they paid me, so I went and bought a brand new dress, and this is the one they've made me. They put me into crinoline, they put me into hoop. When you stand upright, it's a very pretty sight, but it's all green when one stoops. Down at my home in Devonshire, such a thing can't be seen. How the village boys would cheer, and the other girls would sneer, if they saw me in a crinoline. A crinoline is grand in town, though maybe a bit alarming. But if at home I wore this gown, it wouldn't quite do for me. I might get through a gate in time, although I'm inclined to doubt it. But if a stile I had to climb, well, what do you think about it? That can't be done in a crinoline, that can't be done in a hoop. If I climbed up just as I came, a little dust had to simply loop the loop. Down at my home in Devonshire, such a thing's not been seen. There's a curate, Mr. Gush. Oh my goodness, how he'd blush if he saw me in a crinoline. Now down at home while I'm away, the fellows are sure to miss me. And when I get back, oh, I say they'll all of them want to kiss me. A walk with one who calls you dear, there's really a bit of sport here. But if your sweetheart can't get near, there isn't much fun in courting. That is the worst of a crinoline, that is the worst of a hoop. So I think this dress will be more of a success as a nice big chicken coop. Down at my home in Devonshire, such a thing's not been seen. In my funny little trousers, how I'd frighten all the cows if they saw me in a crinoline.
Nan, you look so beautiful.
Do you think so? Really?
Rather. Do save a dance for me. Oh, my rival. I say, old chap, no hard feelings about the election.
No, I don't mind you winning the election at all. As long
Well, I have to say the best man won.
Oh, cheer up, man. I'm off to sea tomorrow.
Besides, haven't I told you Master Geoffrey and I are just old friends? He is in love with Miss Marjorie.
But I hear that is all off, and the princess claims you.
Not if I can help it.
Oh, all right. Oh, if only Marjorie was here.
Say, who is that pretty lady there?
Why, that's Miss Montague, the famous opera singer.
Opera singer? No, it's not. That's our Miss Marjorie.
Oh, nonsense, Nan.
She's the one Master Geoffrey is in love with. I must bring them both together again.
Why, Bertie, how on earth did you ever my mother's.
Oh, be quiet. This is so embarrassing for me.
You look like you were made for that dress.
Yes, but I should have held out for the coat.
So why are you disguised, silly man?
So I could gate crash the Anchester ball. Do let me get on with it. Go off and play that princess. Redo your makeup. It's slipped.
Do I know you?
I'm an old friend of your husband's.
Really?
I do hope you don't think me rude, but what sweet frocks. No wash or iron, wonderful. Just a little dip and they're as good as new again. Mind you, no natural fibres to be seen. That's very nice. One of Balmain's, isn't it?
No, one of my own, one I had made for myself. But you remind me of someone.
But what a charming creation you are wearing.
One of my grandmothers. She wore it to court. But not the court you're thinking. Of course, if a girl's got the figure, she can wear anything.
That would mean half of London women would go around naked.
Oh, dear cousin. I do hope that you might come and take tea with us. Where are you staying? At the Savoy?
No, with Mrs. Brown, one of the old families. The old Dunbrowns. The brown blood, none of your blue blood for me. She's a charming woman and so smart. Mrs. Brown's a wonder, she's 56 or more. You'd think that she was 30 if you didn't know before. She's such a one for scandal, that's a thing in which she revels. And when we two get together, why, we're perfect little devils. Oh, Mrs. Brown, wicked Mrs. Brown, I recollect the stir she made when first she came to town. Heaps of secrets she has got, and she'll tell you all a lot if you come to tea with me and Mrs. Brown. She loves to tell your fortune by the tea leaves in your cup, and if she doesn't like you, I believe she makes it up. She knows everybody's income and everybody's past, and she knows what Mrs. Tomlinson is going to call her last. Oh, Mrs. Brown, shocking Mrs. Brown, she hears everything that's going to happen in or out of town. Do you know why Mrs. Smythe took that little place in Hythe? You must come to tea with me and Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown's a woman with most persuasive powers, and once she starts to argue, she will talk to you for hours. She thinks that Mr. Chamberlain is only rolling logs, and that through him Notting Hill is simply going to the dogs. Oh, Mrs. Brown, naughty Mrs. Brown, she wrote to Mr. Chamberlain when he was up in town that she'd bet an even pound we two girls could talk him round if he came to tea with me and Mrs. Brown. A week ago last Sunday, a young man came to tea, and everybody noticed he was quite épris with me. So Mrs. Brown got furious and made me feel so small by telling me that when he left, he kissed her in the hall. Oh, Mrs. Brown, cruel Mrs. Brown, of course I don't believe it, but I feel so taken down. If you think her story's true, well, the best thing you can do is to go and have a look at Mrs. Brown. You've heard of Lady Gillard and her house of cards, oh my, and Mr. Thompson's slipper fetish credit cards did buy. Mrs. Brown is quite a thinker, and she says she has a route for laundering the euro that will wash the stains of Greece out. Oh, Mrs. Brown, thoughtful Mrs. Brown, Fairfax was to publish it, but Reinhardt threw her weight around. By digging up the ground, Gina shed many a pound to influence the mind of Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown imagines her
figure's very fine. She told me quite in earnest, hers was twice as good as mine. It stung me to the quick, and since that day I've not forgot it, for I know the figure that she's got, and the shop at which she got it. Oh, Mrs. Brown, bumptious Mrs. Brown, remember I have seen her in her little dressing gown. If you think her figure's real, talk about a skinny heel. Just you come to tea with me and Mrs. Brown.
I just knew it was you. Just fancy. Oh, Miss Marjorie, a great singer at Covent Garden. But really, your acting has been superb. How do you do it? An actress smiles and an actress sighs, an actress hopes and fears or cries, but every thought and look is defined in her book. What then if she should be sad as night? 'Tis not the will of her heart. What if the world be supremely bright? It's only her part. Don't trust her smiles, don't trust her wiles. You men must not be too exacting. Don't trust those eyes, don't trust those eyes. She's only an actress, she's acting. Then when the curtain at night rings down, it brings a freedom to sigh of brown, herself she may reveal. Her thoughts need not conceal. Then if she greets you with tender tone, you will gladly own. Now that she lays aside her part, you have found her heart. Then when you sigh at saying goodbye, the moment of parting protracting, love growing wise has opened your eyes. She's an actress, but now is not acting. Not acting. I haven't been acting with you. I've always been the Marjorie that you knew and who Geoffrey knew. Alas, I will never see him again. Miss Marjorie, well, he is here, I tell you. But I suppose with that princess. Princess? You don't need to be jealous of her. He's just as madly in love with you as he has ever been. No, Nan. Find out for yourself. Meet him as a stranger. Pretend you know nothing about Marjorie, the country girl. Get him to talk about her. Very well. I will, Nan, dear.
Oh, forgive me.
Oh, no, not at all.
That voice, I know you.
Why, no. We have never met before.
But it must be. Marjorie, you...
Oh, just one of those remarkable likenesses. Let me introduce myself. I am Miss Montague. And you?
Geoffrey Challoner. Geoffrey! But you are so much alike.
Who is this Marjorie?
Just a country girl. Dear little maid, I can recall her clearly. Sweet was her smile, and tender was her glance. Where has she strayed? For oh, I love her dearly.
I'm hoping yet, as in days long past, come joy or sorrow, come good or ill, I may call her my own little girl at last. I love her still, and I'm hoping yet, as in days long past, come joy or sorrow, come good or ill, I may call her my own little girl at last. When far apart from her I had to wander, sad did it seem to one who loved so well. Still in my heart I kept on growing fonder, still I would dream and future joys foretell. And after all, my faith was never broken. Why should I fear or wonder at my choice? Oft I recall some word that she has spoken, longing to hear the music of her voice. For I loved her then, and I love her still, and I'm hoping yet, as in days long past, come joy or sorrow, come good or ill, I may call her my own little girl at last. I love her still, and I'm hoping yet, as in days long past, come joy or sorrow, come good or ill, I may call her my own little girl at last.
And where is she now?
I don't know where she is now. I tried to find her in vain.
Perhaps she is nearer than you know.
Perhaps.
Ah, there you are. Have you been hiding from me?
Pardon, madame?
I need to speak to you.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid it will have to wait, for as you see, I am otherwise engaged.
So that's that! He loves her still. But love, bah! The English do not know what love is. In my country, it is everything. Oh, it is divine to sit beneath the deodar tree and watch the moon with the man you love. Lionel, let's do that song they cut after opening night. There's plenty of love in the world. Some girls weep when a love goes by. What care I? What care I? Love has wings, so I let him fly. It's foolish to follow after. He has
hear so much of you from Mrs. Brown. Oh, I must kiss you. I find all the men so boring, don't you? Hardly noticed me at all.
I think them rather nice, but I suppose in 30 years I'll be a wallflower too.
Well, there was this gorgeous sailor who did take a shine to me. Don't you just adore sailors?
Most girls do.
This particular one was quite an important man, an admiral or something. His name begins with a B and ends with a Y, a curly Y.
You don't mean Barry?
Oh, you little minx, you've guessed my secret.
I'm tired of this Barry. He tried to make love to me and all he wanted was my money. He wouldn't care who he married as long as there was enough money in it.
But I can tell you still have your eye on this marvellous sailor.
What? Whatever made you think that?
Well, he told me as we danced together. Now, was it during the scotage or the waltz?
What did he say about me?
Well, he said... Ha-ha.
Oh, Barry, what a cad you are! Trying to trick me like that.
Oh, you think so? Look at what you're wearing. Goodness me.
You're a most dishonest man.
Oh, really? You're a very curious girl.
Oh, am I?
Don't you sneer behind your fan.
Oh, dearie, I've been supping with an earl.
Oh, have you?
Don't you think you're going to irritate me?
You do all you can to aggravate me.
Can't you go and leave me if you hate me?
I can please myself, I suppose.
Don't talk to me to hear me speak.
I really never heard such fearful cheek. One word more.
Leave me alone, I beg you pray.
Oh, quite delighted, I'm sure. Good day. I suppose you think you're smart.
You think so well, supposing that I do.
Oh, nothing. I know your remarks by heart.
Thank goodness I can't say the same for you.
Oh, temper.
All I say is you annoy me greatly.
Once you like to know me, take me.
Oh, that was several years ago, not lately.
My reply is simply rats.
Don't talk to me to hear me speak.
I really never heard such fearful cheek. One word more.
Leave me alone, I beg you pray.
Oh, quite delighted, I'm sure. Good day.
Thank you, Lord Anchester. This has been such a lovely ball.
But you promised me one more dance.
I'm exhausted.
I'm sure you have many suitors here in London, Miss Nan.
No, sir.
Surely our London girls could give you a tip or two.
Oh, no, sir. Oh, London girls are all so haughty, proud and chilly.
Chilly, chilly, haughty and proud and chilly.
In a tavern cheer we call that sort of maid a silly.
Silly, silly, call such a maid a silly.
A man may come to woo, the lady likes him too. She looks as if her neck was stiff and says, how do you do? I'm Louis, dear, long day.
This is nerve-wracking. I've nearly collided with Arabella 3 times. Luckily, I could wear this mask and speak in a funny voice every time she came near me. Now I hear she has hired a KC to declare me dead. Her husband dead. Well, maybe it's for the best, as I need to get back to the peace of Bong, my dear valley of Bong. When I've quitted my wife for a bachelor life in a pastoral eastern dominion, it's a shock to my nerves when the lady observes she is taking a consul's opinion. And although I am well and as sound as a bell and as bright as a Birmingham button, I am told a KC for a suitable fee will declare I am deader than mutton. Peace, peace, oh for some peace, I think all this bustle is wrong. And I'd like to repose in the sight of the snows of the beautiful valley of Bong.
Peace, peace, oh for some peace, we think all this bustle is wrong.
For a troublesome wife has a very short life in the beautiful valley of Bong. If a ruler you are of some country afar, though perhaps it is quite microscopic, when the papers report you are coming to court, you become a society topic. For the Times will describe all the ways of your tribe for the good of the casual reader. There's a scratch of your dress in the Mail and Express and a smudge of your nose in the leader. Peace, peace, oh for some peace, away from the curious throng. For the personal power we decidedly bar in the beautiful valley of Bong.
Peace, peace, oh for some peace, away from the curious throng.
For the halfpenny press isn't quite a success in the beautiful valley of Bong. There's a lady today in the great USA who declares she is ready to take on any critics who try to dispute or deny that our Shakespeare is written by Shakon. For if only you look in the page of a book where the errors of printing are rifer, you will find that they veil some improbable tale in the Bacon by literal cipher. Peace, peace, oh for some peace, away from the curious throng. I can prove if I please by the capital B's that the plays were imported from Bong.
Peace, peace, oh for some peace, away from the curious throng.
It is plain by the author the dots on the i's, they were done in the valley of Bong. There's a writer of rhymes that appear in the Times who is down upon football and cricket, and he pours out his soul on the oath at the goal or the flannel let fall at the wicket. There was violence feared when his verses appeared, but the poet was hardly a dreamer. When the oafs in the mud came to look for his blood, he was off to the Cape on a steamer. Peace, peace, leave him in peace. I topple the kitchen too strong. Oh, forget how he rails if you tell us some tales of the beautiful valley of Bong.
Peace, peace, leave him in peace, although he may pitch it too strong.
You'll forget how he rails if you tell us some tales of the beautiful valley of Bong.
trip to the Himalayas soon to search for my beloved Quinton.
But I heard you thought he was dead, and you were going to marry Sir Joseph Verity.
Never! There would never be another man for me. Oh, I miss him dreadfully.
Oh, Arabella, I never knew you felt like that.
Quinton? You? Is it really you?
Yes, ducks. Oh, I'm sorry to have caused you all this bother.
Bother? You don't know the half of it.
But I can't stay here. Arabella, will you come back to Bong with me?
Oh, yes, of course. But I must order some frocks.
Oh.
Taffeta, jersey. Where is that wretched girl, Sophie?
Hello, everyone. We must have another dance. I've just found my perfect partner.
When rushing round the world of parties in society, to flirt with any girl is not an impropriety.
You smile at her, she laughs at you, you make a little joke or two. It may be old, it may be new, there's nothing like variety.
And when you're going to a ball, there's one you think of first of all.
And you feel that the world has become more gay when your little pet partner comes your way.
Take your pretty partner at the
Take
ball.
your partner.
Take your pretty partner at the
Take your
ball.
partner.
She who dances best of all, she who charms who never fall is your own pet partner at the ball.
Perhaps a chaperone will show some contrariety, as frequently is shown in very good society. You take the chaperone for some charity, keep her own, who's nice and clean and glad and tough, is lovely fine variety. Your partner looks for cool and calm, you find them close behind a palm.
And you're utterly lost for an hour or two with your little pet partner there with you.
Kiss your pretty partner at the
Kiss your
ball.
partner.
Kiss your pretty partner at the
Kiss your
ball.
partner.
Then upon your knees you fall, how you love her best of all, and you found your partner at the ball.
Who's your pretty partner at the
You're my partner,
Who's your pretty partner at the
you're my partner. I should like to have the chance, all through life with you, to dance, for I love my partner at the ball.
Oh, Sir Joseph, I couldn't dance another step. Every breath is like drawing cork.
But dear lady, as you were saying...
Oh, yes, Sir Joseph. I feel I've known you hundreds of years, that I could confide anything to you. I've been worried lately, Sir Joseph. You see, I manage all my own property. And what with my 2 country residences and my townhouse.
2 country residences and a townhouse?
And then you see, there's my other property, my shares, my motor cars. I've 2 Rolls Fords.
Oh, you should have someone to help you.
Yes, it's not right for a single girl to live alone, is it? I've been told to try a man named Barry.
Barry? A scoundrel, madam. He robbed me of a tin mine.
A scoundrel? Fancy robbing a tin man of a tin mine. And would you know him again?
Know him? Wait till I set eyes.
Oh, those are wild words, Sir Joseph. I am not a strong woman. My life has not been a happy one. One kind word.
There. Oh dear. This might. Oh, steady on, woman.
Oh, it's no use me coming over all queer now, is it?
Oh, then dance with me for the last time.
For the last time?
For the last time, until we are married.
You desire to speak to me, Princess?
Ah, so much.
I am at your service.
But I do not want you at my service. It is I who am at yours. I, a princess, am ready to become your slave, to acknowledge you with joy, my master.
Oh, Princess, I respect you and admire you, but I love another.
Another?
Yes, not a great lady like you, just a little country girl called Marjorie.
He still loves another! How can there be love without a deodar tree?
Princess!
Go away! Go to that...
My long-lost love!
Becky, how dare you call me your long-lost love?
I want you to save me! Old Verity's chasing me all over the place!
Oh, Raja! I've made a conquest. Lovely woman. 2 country residences and a townhouse.
Do you know who she is?
No, I know who she's going to be. The future Lady Verity.
That lady was Barry.
Barry?
And the funny thing is, he tried the same thing on me.
Where is he? Where is he?
Mr. Chandler, it's too bad of you. You have monopolized Miss Montague the entire evening.
Oh, but I've hardly seen her.
That's true.
Oh, let me make amends to everyone by singing to you. Hark to that sound of calling for me and you, for me and you. Whether through darkest storm we go, or under skies of blue, nothing shall sever. I will be ever true to my
Oh, that was lovely.
Marjorie, my own at last.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot for a moment in my happiness where I was. But Miss Montague? Marjorie, a country girl?
Yes, Marjorie, a little country girl.
And now mine forever.
Oh, Nan, to you I owe all my happiness. That's all right, Marjorie. I am delighted to see you in your happiness.
Nan, let me now share that happiness. Please marry me.
Well, if I can't have Master Geoffrey, you're not such a bad second choice.
I shall go back to Bong, to sit and wait for my true love under the deodar tree.
Arabella and I will see that you're not alone.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Here I am, and very lucky to be in one piece.
Well, you see, Barry, I've won my little country girl at last.
And so you ought, sir, after all the trouble I had to bring it about.
Yo ho, little girls, yo ho! That's so, little girls, that's so! Let her dance to end, then away we'll go! have the chance, all through life with you to dance, for I love my partner at the ball. Take your pretty partner to the ball. Take your partner. Take your pretty partner to the ball. Take your partner. I should like to have the chance, all through life with you to dance, for I love my partner at the ball.
Well done, Gertie, Lily, everyone. Coffee is served in the dining room. Everyone, coffee is served in the dining room.